Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my Major League Baseball predictions for the 2022 Major League Baseball season. Before I continue, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate you do that. Really trying to go to the channel, so go ahead and do that. Um, Major League Baseball, a bit of a weird off season because of the lockout. The season's actually delayed by a week, so we should already be having regular season games, but it's delayed by a week because of the lockout, so it doesn't start to April 7th, and that's why you're seeing a bunch of late free agent moves. Um, and you're still going to see a few, I think, before the season starts. But I try holding out as late as I can, but this is the latest I probably hold out to, looking at the schedule and everything. So I'm filming this Sunday night. Hopefully you get it by noon on Monday. So hopefully you get that. It should be an interesting year in baseball. I think there's a lot of teams that could potentially win the World Series. I also think that even if your team is gonna suck this year, like my team is, yet again I'm a Baltimore Orioles fan. Um, I think it's gonna be a fun year. The TV package is new. You get a game of the week every week, so it should be fun. But let me get into these predictions. The way I do them, I'm only gonna do the division records and the playoffs and World Series channel. I'm not gonna give you any MVP or anything like that. I might make a video about that later this week, but um I'm only gonna do the records and the divisions and the playoffs here. So let's get into it. AL East. In first place, I got the Rays at 98 and 64. Listen, you look at the Rays. Um, People are kind of counting them out. I shouldn't say counting them out, but no one's really mentioning them. They kind of had a quiet off season. I do think they absolutely got a steal with Corey Kluber. I think he's gonna have a revival down there in Tampa. Usually, a lot of players have a revival down in Tampa. They know what they're doing down there. This guy Vonder Franco. Listen, if the Rays are paying you 10 years, 184 million. That means this guy might be the best player in the league if they're doing that. So. I am absolutely sold on the Rays. I think they are the team to beat in the AL East. And I have them in first place, 98 and 64. In second place, the Toronto Blue Jays. I know they have made a lot of great moves. I think Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s box office. I get that, but a few things about the Blue Jays. This AL East is going to be difficult to compete in it. I mean, to me, 1 through 4 could very well win this division. Two, a lot of people I think are overrating the Kevin Gausman move. I think a lot of he had a good season last year, Kevin Gausman. Don't get me wrong, but I think a lot of that had to do with him pitching in a very pitcher friendly ballpark. Toronto's a hitter's park. Yankee Stadium's a hitter's park. Fenway's a hitter's park. I know they moved this fence back at Camden Yards where Kevin Gausman used to play, but I'm sure Kevin Gausman could tell you he has some struggles with the O's playing at Camden Yards. So I'm not absolutely sold on that move. I do think overall the Blue Jays are going to be a really good team this year, and I have them in second place at 90 and 72. In third place, the Red Sox. They got Trevor Story, big time acquisition from them. 87-75 is where I have them at. Still not absolutely sold on the back end of that rotation or the starting pitching in general outside of Chris Sale and a few others, but overall they brought back Jackie Bradley Jr. That's a familiarity move there. I think at worst they're going to go ahead and compete for the playoffs. I like the Red Sox in third place here, 87-75. Fourth place, New York Yankees. Yeah, I know they went out and got Josh Donaldson. I know that. Former MVP, but he's kind of past his prime. I'm just not absolutely sold on the Yankees, and some of it has to do maybe because of last year kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Um, in my opinion, I think Aaron Boone's gone after this season. I honestly don't understand why they even brought him back. Um, but in my tough AL East this year, I think the Rays are better than them. I think the Blue Jays are better than them. I think it's a coin flip between them and the Red Sox. I'll take Alex Cora over Aaron Boone, and I'll put the Yankees in fourth place. 83 and 75. I mean, it's not 83 and 75, 83 and 79. And then in last place, my beloved Baltimore Orioles. I'm a big Orioles fan, but I just gotta be blunt when saying this. I think this is Brandon Hyde's last year. I kind of lean towards letting him go after this year. Um, and it's not completely his fault, in my opinion. It's just his. I mean, I just don't see him being that guy. That's what it comes down to. I will say this about the Orioles as an Orioles fan. I don't want to spend too much time on the Orioles, but they're gonna be calling off. They're gonna be calling up some prospects this year. Um, I do think when they do that, I do think they'll win a few more games. I have them improving by 5 games this year from last year. I do think this is the last year of this rebuild that we'll lose 100 plus games. I will come out and say that, but I do have us at 61 and 101. I tried picking the Orioles less than 100 losses, but with this tough division, I think it's just going to be tough for them to do that. But and the pitching is just outside of John Means, the pitching is just very bad in my opinion. So. Fifth place, Baltimore Orioles. All right, AL Central, first place, White Sox at 95 and 67. I do think they are the team to beat in this AL Central. You look at this team, absolutely astonishing. This team overall, they went out and I believe they went out and got Craig Kimbrel. That might have been the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers went out and got Craig. Yeah, never mind. I'll talk about that when we get to the Dodgers. But I mean, you look at this team. Tim Tim Anderson. I think Lance Lynn is a stud. I mean, this team. I think they'll win the AL Central 95 and 67. Number two, the Guardians, formerly known as the Indians. Don't get me started on that. I know some people are kind of down on this team. I get that. I still think this pitching rotation is pretty good. I do think people are kind of overlooking this offense a little bit. I do think the offense is going to be a bit better than what some people think, and I believe in Terry Francona. Terry Francona is a Hall of Fame manager. I believe in him. I think he'll have this team at least competing around 500. I think they come in second place, 84 and 78 for the Guardians. Third place, Tigers. I think the Tigers are a year away. In my opinion, I know they went out and got Javier Baez. Great. I think that they're a year away. They still need work on developing that talent a little bit, but they are a year away. I think from really seriously competing for playoff spots and possibly for the AL Central. But I have them at exactly 500 at 81 and 81. Fourth place is the Twins. Listen, I don't know what to think of the Twins. They're kind of Jack on high. I think last year was an absolute disaster. Um, I do think they could to me, I think that they could very well be competing for the AL Central in September, or they could be kind of where they were at last year. I'm kind of leaning towards that a little bit. I know they went out and got Carlos Correa. I think that's a huge accusation right there. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I mean, maybe they come in second place. I mean, kind of think about this. Maybe I should have just picked them in second place. Now thinking about it. They got Sonny Gray as well from the Reds. I think that's a big pickup as well for them. But I don't know. I mean, Brian Bruxton has to stay healthy, in my opinion. I have them in fourth place at 79 and 83. Fifth place, Kansas City Royals. Yeah, I know you went out and got Zach Greinke. He's way past his prime. Xavier Perez is not going to hit 50 home runs again. I mean, it's not a horrible roster, but it's not really that good of a roster. They do have some young prospects coming through the system. Maybe that could help. Maybe we'll see them this year, but I don't think they're horrible. I just think they're not that good. Kansas City Royals 70 and 82. AL West. I still have the Astros in first place, winning this. I still think they're the team to beat. I still have them in first place, 94 and 68. Yeah, they lost Carlos Correa. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that they still have their core still there. I still think Dusty Baker's a hell of a manager. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Astros in first place. In second place, I'm going to go on a bit of a limb here. I'm going to say the LA Angels. I know the Mariners are kind of the sexy pick to finish second in this division, but I look at the Angels. I'll take Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani over anything the Mariners have. I'll take Joe Mann as a manager over Scott Service. So I know the pitching isn't absolutely there for the Angels. Um, in my opinion, I think maybe they'll get lucky. Maybe someone will step up, but I have them in second place, 86 and 76. In third place, Seattle Mariners at 85 and 77. I know they went out and got Jesse Winkler. I know the team's ready to win now. Part of me still thinks that they're a year away. That's what it comes down to. I don't think it will not surprise me if they do come in first place in this division. It won't surprise me if they win the ALS. It will not surprise me if they make the wild card, um, or even a first round bye. And I'll talk about the new playoff system when we get to it. But in my opinion, just not sold on them. That's what it comes down to. I like them in third place at 85 and 77. In fourth place, the Texas Rangers. Now, the Texas Rangers, and here's my opinion about the Texas Rangers. I've never seen a team, and two teams did this offseason. I'll talk about the other team because I kind of have a different opinion about how each team did it. I've never seen a team with a bad record go out and spend a bunch of money on two players, and Marcus Simeon, and Kyle Seager. Um, Kyle Seager got what, 10 years, 300. Marcus Simeon got 7 for 175. I've never seen that. I know people talk about, hey, you gotta be strong up the middle, and that means a second baseman, shortstop. And I do believe in that, and this definitely helps that, in my opinion. But in my opinion, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I've never seen a team with such a bad record like the Rangers go out and sign that much money in any professional sports league, like that. Uh, but in my opinion, I do think it helps them. I still think the Rangers are 2 to 3 years away. This farm system I know is very good, but I have them at 73 and 89. I don't think it was bad moves for them to go out and get Marcus Simeon and Corey Seager. It just really um I, and I might be is he I think it's God, I forget if it's Kyle Seager or Corey Seager. I know it's one of those two. I get them as brothers mixed up all the time, but sorry if I'm getting them mixed up. But overall, I don't think it's a bad move. It just baffers me. It just baffers me. Um, because I've just never seen something like that before. But I like the Rangers in fourth place at 73 and 89. Fifth place, Oakland Athletics. Yeah, they're going through the rebuild. They trade everybody away. Um, New manager, and I'll get into where Bob Melvin went to in a second. Um, this is probably being kind, 64 and 98 with this division, because I do think there's three teams in this division that could win the division, and the Rangers I don't think are going to be a pushover. I still believe in Billy Bean. I still do. Um, but in my opinion, it's going to be a long rebuild. But hey, last time when we all said that it was going to be a long rebuild for the Athletics, they turned around in 2012 and won 90 games. So we'll see what happens. 64 and 98, fifth place for the A's. Now to the NL East. In first place, I have the Mets. I think Buck Showalter is such a huge accusation and manager, and I might be homing a bit in this one. I might be a bit of a homer in this because Buck Showalter was the manager for the Orioles for about a decade, but I think, in my opinion, I think he's definitely an upgrade. Over I believe I want to say Kevin Long was their manager, or no, Mickey Callaway was their manager. Mickey Callaway. I definitely think it was an upgrade over him. I know Mickey Callaway was the guy 2 guys ago. I forget who the guy was that was their manager. My apologies, but it's definitely an upgrade since I can't remember his name. Um, I look at the Mets. I know DeGrom might be out opening day. Max Scherzer's a huge number two. I mean, that 1-2 punch might be one of the best in the league. There, I think this lineup overall is pretty good. I like the Mets in first place, 97 and 65. Second place, Atlanta Braves. I know some people are saying Matt Olson is a upgrade from Freddie Freeman. Can we please stop that talk? It's a lateral move at best, in my opinion. I do think losing Freddie Freeman is huge for the Braves, even though they got Matt Olson. I like the Braves in second place. Um, and the reason, and a lot of people have it vice versa. They have the Braves in first and Mets in second. One of the other reasons I have the Mets ahead of the Braves is because I do think Buck Showalter is a better manager than Brian Stickler because I know they're both kind of old school guys, but I mean I don't know. I mean, the Braves are to me are the most they're the team that's the most behind in analytics. I know the Mets kind of put themselves a little bit behind, probably with Buck Showalter as the manager, but um, I just like the Mets. I just have a gut feeling the Mets are coming in first place. Braves second place, 93 and 69. They'll be in the playoffs. Um, but coming off a World Series, it is tough to repeat. It doesn't matter what league you're in. It is they're gonna have a target on their back because of that. I like the Braves in second place at 93 and 69. And third place, Miami Marlins. I'm high on the Marlins. I would have had them at a higher record if I wasn't as sold. If I wasn't, let me reword that. I would be higher on the Marlins, if I wasn't, as sold as I am on their pitching as I am on their hitting. I'm not absolutely sold on their hitting. Pitching, I think this might be the best rotation in baseball, the Miami Marlins. And I believe in Nani baseball. I do. Say what you want about him. I do believe in him. I think they come in third place. I definitely think they're competing for a playoff spot. Miami Marlins, third place. Fourth place, Philadelphia Phillies. Yeah, I know you went out and got Kyle Schwarber, and you went out and got Nick Cassiantis. I know I butchered that. My apologies. Here's my problem with the Phillies. I think they're very top heavy. Because I mean, you look at the rotation. Um, I mean, Eflin, Nola, but then it kind of drops off. You look at the bullpen. The bullpen is Jekyll and Hyde, in my opinion, and you just look at this team overall. I do believe in Joe Girardi as a manager, but I just think they're too top heavy. The depth isn't there. If this team gets injured, it could be a long season, in my opinion, for the Phillies. I still have them in fourth place, above 500, 83 and 79. I still think they can compete for the playoffs. I don't know if they can compete for this division because because of the depth, but I still think they can compete for the playoffs if they can stay healthy. I like the Phillies in fourth place, 83 and 79. And then fifth place, the Nationals. Nelson Cruz to the Nationals, I think, was interesting. I know, and by the way, one of the new things in baseball is a DH all around the league. So NL has a DH now. So I know that's why they brought in Nelson Cruz. But I find it interesting that he would have gone there. Maybe because they were the only team offering him 1 year, $15 million. It's time for it's obviously they're going in a rebuild there with the Nationals. I still think there is some talent on this roster, so I don't think they're going to be an absolute pushover. But in this tough division, I think it's going to be tough for them. 65 and 97. And if you're the Nationals, and I'm not a Nationals fan, I hate the Nationals as an Orioles fan. It was a good run. I mean, you won the World Series. It's just time for the rebuild, and I believe this team will rebuild fine. It might take a few years, but I do think they will do fine with the rebuild, and I think it's gonna be a tough few years, as I said, but I believe in their GM, and yeah, so Nationals fifth place, 65-97. Now the NL Central, first place Milwaukee Brewers, 99-63. If this team could just hit, they have a good shot of winning the World Series, in my opinion. They brought in Andrew McCutchen. I think that's huge. This pitching rotation and bullpen. Pitching rotation might be the best pitching rotation in baseball. I know I said that about the Marlins, but this pitching rotation is definitely right there. And the bullpen is probably the best in baseball. I like Milwaukee. I like Craig Counsellor. A lot of people dub this team Rays North. The difference is this team, the Milwaukee Brewers, are willing to spend money, unlike Tampa Bay. And that's fine if you're Tampa Bay. I'm not taking a shot at Tampa Bay there. I just think Milwaukee's more willing to spend money. But I like Milwaukee. First place, 99-63. I think they win this division. Possibly even have it locked up by early September, Labor Day. Second place is the St. Louis Cardinals. This is by default. They have a good core there. With Nolan Eldorado and Paul Goldschmidt. Yachty's still there. They brought back Pujols. The pitching rotation is okay. Um, I think they will compete some. A bit of a baffling move by them last year. They made the wild card game. They lost a close wild card game. Who did they lose it to? The Giants, I think. And then they turned after winning like 17 straight, and then they turned around and fired their manager Mike Schultz. I honestly forget who they hire as the new manager. Um, but I still like the core. I still think they compete for a playoff spot at the end of the day, but they're second place by default. And third place is the Cincinnati Reds. They decided to go for the rebuild. There's still some talent on this team. I think enough to at least compete, to be competitive. But I don't. In my opinion, I looked at the Reds, and they were like maybe 2, 3 pieces away from really being like dangerous, making World Series and stuff. But they decided to tear it down. I don't understand it. Um, the Reds haven't really been good since Dusty Baker's been the manager, but back in the early 2010s. But I like the Reds in third place here. I do think they're better than the two teams below. And the next team is the Cubs. But I like the Reds at 78 and 84. I like the Cubs at 71 and 91. This might be a bit too harsh for the Cubs now thinking about it. I do think they'll have a shot at third place, the Cubs. I mean, you look at the Cubs. I do think Marcus Stroman is actually like a good pickup, but I mean, you look at this team. They had their run. They won the World Series. Um, to me, it's just time to rebuild it. It just is. I'm not really sold on David Ross as a manager, just to be honest. And in my opinion, I would just rebuild it if I'm the Cubs. I do think this team's competitive, but go ahead, give me the Cubs at 71 and 91. Fifth place, Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah, this is gonna be a rough year for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they're nowhere close to competing. I don't even know what their farm system looks like. I don't really have much to say about the Pirates. Um, I do think they have a player or two in the farm system though that is gonna be good. Now thinking about it, but or is highly rated, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a rough year for the Pirates. 55 and 109, 55 and 107 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. NL West, first place, LA Dodgers. Yeah, they lost Max Scherzer. Yeah, they lost Seager. The team has a great farm system. The team still has probably the best lineup in baseball. I do think the pitching rotation does take a little bit of a hit. We'll see um, what happens. With Trevor Bauer. See if he comes back. We'll see if but you could get out Clayton Kershaw. But to me, this is still Team B in NL West, 106 and 56. I think they are the best. I think they have the best record in baseball. Second place, San Diego Padres. Yeah, I know they lose Tatis for a few months. With the broken, they break his foot or ankle. I forget where he broke, but I, a few things about the Padres. I know some people call this starting rotation a little bit hit or miss. I think it's more of a hit than a miss. I think the bullpen's decent. I think the lineup's still pretty good overall. The big move though, Bob Melvin coming to the Padres, I think is huge. I think he is an upgrade from what they had after that horrible collapse last year. I think the Padres, it would not surprise me if they actually win this division, but I think they come in second place, 97 and 65. And once Tatis comes back, they would definitely be winning a lot of ball games. Third place is the San Francisco Giants. Last year, in my opinion, I think he had a little bit of fluke, a little bit of realism. I think Logan Webb, I think he's legit. I think there's a few players on the Giants overall that are legit. You let Chris Bryant walk, which I'll get into in a second, and you also let Kevin Gausman walk. I would not let Gausman walk. If you want to let Chris Bryant walk because you didn't want to pay that money, fine. But I don't know. Gabe Capper, in my opinion, still is a bit of a question mark. I know he had a great year last year as a manager, but he's still a bit of a question mark in my opinion. I just like the Giants in third place. And here, 86 and 76. I still think they're at worst competing for the playoffs. Fourth place, Colorado Rockies. Um, the Colorado Rockies are the Sacramento Kings of Major League Baseball. I have no clue what this franchise direction is. They let John Gray, Trevor Story, they went ahead. They let Nolan Arenado, all their good players basically trade them away or walk for like nothing. But they bring in Chris Bryant 7 years for 182. Um, I really do not get that move. I just don't. They had a horrible record last year, and well, I shouldn't say horrible. They did go 73 and 88. But if you kept all these players that were like helping you get to that 73 and 88, I honestly think the Rockies would have had a shot to be above 500. And I know it's tough for the pitchers. That's probably why John Gray left more than anything. Um, because it's tough to pitch in Coors Field. But I mean, in my opinion, you look at the Rockies. I just don't get the direction of this franchise. I do think they're better than the fifth place team, so I gave them 69 and 93. The fifth place team is the Arizona Diamondbacks at 59 and 103. The Diamondbacks are just mediocre everywhere at best, in my opinion. But you look, in my opinion, I just don't understand the Rockies. It's just another team that just baffles me all the time. But the Diamondbacks, back on them, as I said, they're just mediocre everywhere. I'm stunned that Levito, the manager, got an extension. Um, I just think they need to rebuild. And they need to rebuild badly. They kind of they had a little bit of a run. They made a big surprising move going out for Zach Greinke. I think 6 years over 200 million. I believe they did make the wild card ones, and then they did, I think, move on to the divisional, and I think they did end up losing to the Dodgers in four. But I mean, outside of the early 2010s with Justin Upton and Ian Kennedy, and this past little run, it's really been um it's really been a bunch of mediocrity for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So fifth place for them. Now for the playoffs. So here's how the playoffs work. The new format is a 12-team playoff, 6 teams again from the AL, 6 from the NL. The wild card is a 3-team is a 3 through 6 or 3 and 6 play each other, 4 and 5 play each other, and 3 game series. So the 3 and the 4 seeds hold the 3 game series. All 3 games are in they're in the higher seed, and then the 3 versus 6 matchup, whoever wins that plays the 2 seed who has the bye. The 4 versus 5 matchup has they go ahead and play the 1 seed, who they which is well, I'll get into how my playoffs work, but they go ahead and play the 1 seed. The top 3 seeds are division winners. The top, and it's by records. So some of these teams that have higher records than they have higher records than some of the division winners. But let's get into it. So the wild card, Astros, Angels. I do think the Angels get one, but I like the Astros in 3. I actually like the Red Sox over the Blue Jays in 3. I think Alex Cora is a really good manager, and I just trust the Red Sox more. That's what it comes down to. So I'll go ahead and take the Red Sox. Mets, Giants. I think the Mets go ahead and sweep the Giants 2-0. In my opinion, as I said, I think the Giants, there was a little bit of a fluke, a little bit of realism, but I think the Mets are just a better team. And then Padres, Braves. I'll take the Padres in 3. If they are healthy going into the postseason, I think the Padres are going to be dangerous. In the divisional round. So the divisional round, as I said, the 4 versus 5 matchup, they played the 1 seed. The 3 versus 6 matchup, they played the 2 seed. They're best out of 5, like the normal ALDS or NLDS. So 1 versus 5. I'm going to take the Rays in 5. I almost took the Red Sox here, but in my opinion, I do think that the Rays are a little bit of a better team. The Rays also went ahead and I think they did beat the Red Sox last year. So I'll go ahead and take the Rays. I'll take the White Sox in 4 over the Astros. Revenge there. I think the White Sox are a better team now than the Astros with the loss of Carlos Correa. So I'll go ahead and take the White Sox in 4. I'm actually gonna be pull. I'm actually gonna be a bit bold here. I'm gonna call for the upset. I like the Padres over the Dodgers in 5. Um, as I said, I think the Padres are going to be dangerous if healthy going into the postseason. I think they will be, and and the way I do my predictions are if the team's healthy. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Padres in 5 over the Dodgers, and I'm going to take Milwaukee in 5 over the Mets. As I said, I think if Milwaukee, if they could hit better than what they did last year, Christian Yelich can get back to some relevance of an MVP form. Maybe McCutcheon has a late surge or something in his career. I definitely think this team could definitely win a World Series. So I like Milwaukee in 5 over the Mets. And then the ALCS and NLCS, I like the White Sox in 5 over the Rays. I just think too much star power. I know the Rays, there's not a lot of big names, but they go ahead and take teams to the limit basically. I just like the White Sox here. I think this is their year to get to the World Series. I'll take them in 5. And I'm going to take Milwaukee in 7 and probably a classic NLCS against San Diego. I think this. I think it goes back and forth, but at the end, I think Milwaukee's just a little bit of a better team, and I'm going to go ahead and take them. Now my World Series pick. So my World Series is the Chicago White Sox versus the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm taking the Brewers in 6. I trust the Brewers more than the White Sox. I do think the White Sox might have a little bit of a better roster, but Milwaukee, I'm telling you, if they could hit, and I think they will, they have a good shot of winning the World Series. So I'm going to take Milwaukee in 6. That's my World Series pick. So I have the Brewers winning the World Series against the White Sox in 6. So that's my Major League Baseball predictions. Comment down below to me your baseball predictions for Major League Baseball for the 2022 season. I always like hearing from you guys. Thanks for watching the video. Hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe to your channel. Greatly appreciate you do that. I'm going to try to maybe do there's one video that I'm definitely doing. I'll probably be out Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm gonna try to do a award prediction video. I'm not gonna guarantee it though. We'll see if I get it in. So we'll see what happens. But thanks for watching the video. Hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe to your channel. This is McD the Beast signing off.